Hello everyone. I'm going to try something a bit different. I'm not used to looking at the camera because I'm not normally in front of the camera. So my name's Gareth, I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer. I'm going to do a little introduction to the video before I sit and paint today. It's the 29th of March and it's a bit weird looking at myself on the camera, but it's okay. And I'm going to do a little quick sweep of my painting station before I get to painting for about an hour or so. I'm not feeling all that good today. I'm a bit flued up, and I'm a bit beardy, but it's okay. Right, so now I'm going to pan around to my I'm going to stop the camera, switch to my paint desk and let you see what I'm working on, and then we're going to start painting. Okay. Right, so here's about as wide an angle as I can get off my desk. It's a mess, but it's a creative mess, so it's not a problem. I have got some very random stuff on my desk, and so I've got my laptop with some paints which I've actually got my ceramite white. I'm actually going to be using these. I've got to put a lot of medium in them because they got really thick. I've got under there, you'll see that's my basing stuff. I've got tubs of Games Workshop basing stuff, basically. Basing stuff, ha ha ha. I've got some miniatures that I haven't built yet. You've got Mad Donna from Necromunda. I have Cal Jericho from Necromunda as well. These only came this week, so I haven't really had time to do them. And I've got some Malifaux, my December Acolytes. I still haven't built them from Christmas. I will get to them at some point. As you can see, I've got a lot of random stuff here. This is my green stuff. This is my modelling putty. I actually don't know if it should be okay. My markers, which I've got everywhere. This is my bits trays. This isn't all of my bits, I will add. I have other boxes with bits, but these are my sorted out ones. As you can see, let's just try and do this without actually spilling stuff. Lots of heads, all Space Marine heads. Some people would love the sight of that, Space Marine heads everywhere, but so yeah, tubs on top with bits in it as well. Up on the wall, that is my painting chart, and even though I've been doing this for 25 years, I still refer to my painting chart quite a lot. We have my actual paints. These aren't all my paints, which I will show you in a little while. This is the old Games Workshop Ultimate Paint set. I've had for years now. Most of the paints I have been replaced over the years. Some of them are still the original paints and are probably quite bad. Some paints I don't use very often. This is my toolkit in Coca-Cola can chiller that my dad bought from Australia 20 odd years ago, and it serves a really good, like, you can find things everywhere. That's the super glue I use. It's one I found off Amazon. It's really good. And we have various bits of models here. We have the pilot for my Doomsday Ark. We have Logan Grimnar's Chariot, which I seem to be working on forever. A Demon Prince, which I haven't started painting yet. My Dark Oath War Queen, who's nearly finished. I haven't quite got around to finish her. We have a Necron Tomb Spider, or Canoptic Spider. It's not called a Tomb Spider anymore. There it is. Which I started painting last year, and I decided to get back out and try and finish. There's Logan Grimnar himself. There's the man Sigmund, who's nearly finished now. Seems to be taking on a lot of projects. On my own fault, but it's what I do. And there's Sigmund's base. Just needs a little bit of finishing as well. And then we're down to actually my paint station, which is what you see generally when I paint. I've just recently set up all of these models. We have, including the guy that's up here, but I'm not painting him. We have 9 Rampagers for my World Eaters, including the bases that they're going to go on. These are all their arms and their backpacks. I have to paint them this way because of the way I paint them. I stipple brush. I use sponge on the models because they're white. But not that guy. They're white, and their armour is primarily white as well. Yeah, so they have black backpacks, blue backpacks. Put my teeth back in, and they're shoulder pads. These are, I use things as painting sticks. This is a pencil. As you can see, I've got all their shoulder pads on there. Makes it easier to paint. I mean, the trick with painting is whatever is easiest for you, whatever makes the paint job easier. And I've got my brushes there, and there's brushes there, and there's brushes there. There's brushes everywhere. There's some brushes down here. This is my palette, which I still swear by. My blue tack for me to play about with when I'm not actually painting. Back there underneath you'll see I've got some spare cork bases, and that book box is actually, it holds a load of paints, and that's full at the moment. And when I was saying about other paints, there's my shelf of other paints as well. There are paints everywhere on my paint station. And bright light coming up, that's my lamp setup. I don't really show this very often. It's a two lamp headlamp. I've had it for probably about 20 years. It was bought as a Christmas present from my parents when I was a lot younger. We have some glue, which I don't use. We have my brush soap, which I should really clean my brushes at some point, and I haven't for quite a while. So brush soap. We've got these things here I use to weigh down my Tyranids. They're washers, and they do the job really well. We have some methylated spirits, which is what I was using to help strip models. We have under there, as you can see there, boxes of brushes. They're old brushes. I don't throw anything out because they could still be useful. This is the kitchen towel I use to wipe paint off and to dry brush and stuff like that. This is my cloth for cleaning my palette. Excuse me. And that's basically my desk. So yeah, so I'm gonna end that there, and we will get to painting. Yeah, hello again. So yeah, so now I'm going to do a bit of painting. So I've done a little sweep over what my desk looks like, the state that it's in. And yeah, I'm just going to paint and ramble for a little while like I usually do. You have to, like I said, you have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a sore throat and a cold and all that fun. So yeah, what I normally do in these videos is I talk about my week, and it's been a bit of a big week. Lots of decisions have been made, shall we say. The first one, I've decided to stay on at my job for a little while. I was silly to have just walk out without having something to fall back on. I know that. But again, promises have been made. We'll see if they're fulfilled. Apparently they're looking at our wages. Yeah, but we'll see. What I'm doing here is I'm getting some of this wash. It's a shade that I made up. It's black, blue, medium and some water. And this is what I use to shade my world eaters. So yeah, so I'm staying on at work, which is funny because I've actually I got invited for an interview for another job, and I've got no reason not to go. I want to see if I have what it takes to do the job. So I'm going to go to the interview anyway. So basically what I'm going to do with this is these models, which are my world eaters, I'm going to cover the whole model more or less. It's just give it a shade so it's the base colour for the white that I use. So yeah, so work was okay. I mean, I know I'm recording this on a Thursday, which is a bit weird. I normally do it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But I'm actually off. I'm on holiday from work again. People are saying how much holiday I have. But whatever. But yeah, because it's Good Friday tomorrow. And we generally have the club all day on Good Friday, which we do again this Friday. So we've got gaming from 11 in the morning till 11 in the evening. So I've booked the Thursday off so I can be up there nice and early on the Friday, and I put the Friday off so I can be there all night, all day. So yeah, it's been a really short work week, only 2 days, which is, if I could do 2 day working weeks every week, I would do it. It's not a problem. So yeah, I didn't get much painting done last weekend purely because I haven't been well. It's frustrating because I wanted to paint. I had like zero energy to do anything. I sat in front of my PlayStation all weekend, playing games and watching films. I've been listening to a lot of music, mostly one album, I've got to say. My favourite singer, Miles Kennedy, released his solo album, and I bought it on day release, and I've not stopped listening to it since. It's really, really good. It's a bit of a slow burner. It's not gonna, the first time you listen to it, it's not gonna be wow, oh my god, but it does get you. It got me anyway. And some of the songs I really relate to as well. Like one of them for me is just is how I was feeling when I was, I'm still fighting my depression, but I'm not at the stage I was. I for the life of me I can't remember the name of the song. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Haunted by Design, that's it. I didn't have anyone telling me that, I remembered myself. Haunted by Design. It's a really, really good song. And I would probably have that album on now if I wasn't sitting in front of a camera and chatting crap. So, yeah. So yeah, everything's going okay. I mean, yeah, I went back on what I said I was going to do with work, but I think in the long run I was silly to walk out without having anything to walk into. And you never know how the future is going to go. I've got the interviews middle of April. I probably shouldn't be saying that. I'm not blowing my own trumpet or jumping the gun or anything like that. This is why I'm not saying what the interview's for or anything. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, we've got Easter coming up. I'm actually looking forward to the weekend. It's Saturday. A couple of weeks ago I introduced my oldest nephew to the hobby, to wargaming. And on Saturday me and him are going to spend some time in Games Workshop Uxbridge, and we're going to learn a bit about the hobby. Well, he's going to learn a bit about the hobby. You never know. I could learn some new things. Maybe. So that's 3 of them shaded. This is quite a quick process to do this shading, but it's just going to it takes forever to dry. And all I'm doing is I'm more shade with a bit of water. And that's, like I said, that's one I made up myself. I just named it World Eater. These are my World Eaters. So yeah, so tomorrow, which is Good Friday, we've got a big apocalypse game arranged at the club, because why not? Got 12 hours of gaming and play Apocalypse. I'm taking my Necrons, and bear in mind this is right before the Codex drops. The Codex drops the day after, so I'm still using Index Necrons, or Index Xenos 1, I think it is. So yeah, that's not a problem. I don't think they'll change Megaly too much. Megaly, like, that's a word. There you go. I don't think that'll change out like massively. That's what I was looking for, massively. But we'll see. We'll see on Saturday when I get a book, which is picking it up from Games Workshop in Uxbridge. So yeah, and I may buy a few other little bits, a few goodies, but we'll see. We will see. So these guys here that I'm actually shading at the moment, they're called Rampagers, and anyone that knows Heresy will know that all World Eaters are kind of madmen. They've got implants in their heads that make them... let's pan this camera up a little bit. That's a bit better. They've got implants in their head that drive them mad. Basically, they... the only way to stop the implants from hurting the user, from the wearer, is to cause violence. So yeah, it's... and these guys are like a specialist squad. They have all these special weapons and stuff called the cadre weapons. Basically, when Angron was found on his home planet by the Emperor, he was a pit fighter, and all the pit fighters that were with him were rebelling against the rulers of the planet, and they had all these various weapons like the big axes and the barbed lash whips and the twin swords. And these guys, these Rampagers, use them weapons. Obviously scaled up to be a Space Marine weapon, but as you can see by the size of the axes, that's one of the axes, and that's a Space Marine. So they're quite big. They're taller than a Space Marine. And these guys are going to be Khan the Bloody's bodyguard. Not that he needs a bodyguard, but you never leave characters out by themselves in 30k, because they just get shot and killed. So they could be a squad of 9, and they're going to be riding in a Land Raider. Maybe a few nightmares for Khan, because that he died on the dozer blade of a Land Raider in the Siege of Terror, but he didn't actually die. It's weird the way that 40k lore works. But anyway, so yeah, so like I said, I haven't done much painting the past week or so. I not last weekend, the weekend before, I hit my target for the month. I went well beyond my target for the month. I'm currently standing at 60 painted models, and by my reckoning, 20 a month will get me to great mass 240, which is well beyond what I wanted to hit. I was aiming for just over 200, so 240 I'll be more than happy with. I could have got more painted this month. I just like I said, I've been ill. I've not had the energy to sit and paint, and having tried to sort out my desk and stuff again, I ended up with boxes and whatever all over my chair. So this is one of the things that is frustrating. I mean, I live with my parents. I've said this many times in my videos. I live in one room. I have everything I own is in one room, and I own a lot of stuff. Like my wargaming stuff alone takes up most of this room. And I won't show you the room because it's cluttered and it's quite a mess. Because I've just got stuff everywhere. I can't help it. I just don't have enough storage space for everything I own. So stuff ends up like on my desk and on my chair, and when you're not feeling your best, and it's going to take you 15-20 minutes to sort out stuff and get it out of the way before you start painting, like a lot of the time you just don't paint, which I haven't, but there you go. So yeah, these are rampages. Sorry, I want to call them red butchers because red butchers are terminators, and I've had a lot of success with red butchers. So the rampages, the sculpts on the bodies aren't great. They don't really want to match up with the legs very well. So it takes a fair bit of work to get them to actually be useful and intact, but they're okay now. I've got them glued, I believe. I hope they don't come apart again. They probably will come apart once I've finished painting them. Like, this is the general thing that happens, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, it's I'm glad I'm starting to feel better because I can start painting again. Like, I don't think I'm going to get any models finished by the end of the month now, because I've got tomorrow I'm out all day with the club. Saturday I will get some painting done at the shop, but I don't know what I'm taking with me. I might take these guys depending on how far I get on with them today. Because I've got today, I'm off work, so I can get some painting done today while my video is uploading. So that's all 10 rampages shaded. Like I said, now it's just a case of waiting for it to dry. And you may be able to see these things. These are the bases that the guys are going to go on. Because I put a lot of money into this army, so I didn't want to do a shoddy basing, shoddy lot of basing with it. So I went and bought some resin bases, and it's just all cracked earth with some pipes hanging out of it and stuff. And all my world eaters are based on these. These are from Tiny World. I want to say Tiny World. It's a website. I use them for buying bases. I like their stuff, so why not? I'll get these other Space Marines off my desk. These are going to be a support squad. They're just standard Space Marines for my world eaters, and they're going to be armed with plasma guns, because we all love plasma guns in 30k. But yeah, I'm sorting out my desk. Still to sorting it out. I've found another backpack for my rampages. So I think what I'm going to work on now is a bit of Sigmund's base while I'm waiting for the shade to dry. It's going to take a while. I don't want to work on it while it's still half dry, because I need to sponge the models. So we're back on Sigmund's base. There's more. I've got more shoulder pads there. hey, that's okay. So yeah, all this white stuff, the white spray painted bits that I've got here are for the rampages as well. It's just I don't assemble them because then I can't get into all the recesses, all the like between the legs and under the arms with the sponge. So okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the gold that's on this. There's not a lot of gold. This is actually nearly finished. I'm like, the guy I'm doing it for gave me a deadline. He really wanted this done by the end of March, and I would say he's probably going to get it by the end of March. It's very close to being complete now. This is Sigismund's base, and all I really need to do with Sigismund is assemble him. I've got some bits of red that I've got to highlight, and then I've got to paint his face, and he's finished. And he is done. I might actually get him finished before the end of the month, so it will put me on 61 for the year, which I'm happy with. I'm very happy with. Okay, so all we're going to do is, where I've not painted this gold on the edge of the trim of the las cannon, is just highlight it. Doesn't need too much. I don't want his base to distract from the amount either, so I'm just going to leave the gold at that. See, I don't even know if the guy who I'm doing this for actually wants the full scenic base for Sigismund, but I'm painting it anyway. So yeah, so next Monday it's also a bank holiday, and we have the club again from 11 to 11, and a group of us are playing Horus Heresy, quite a big game. Well, I'm playing Age of Sigma beforehand. There's 3 or 4 of us are going to play some little games of AOS, so it should be cool. And so now I'm just going to go and reapply the yellow onto the hash stripe, as you can see there. I'll thin it down a bit more. Basically, it's gone a little bit too orange, but it's okay because then that will provide the shading for it straight away. So I can reapply the yellow, and then all I need to do is highlight the yellow. I've got to highlight the black as well, but that's easy. So we're going to go with the #1 brush. I'm actually thinking about getting a new set of brushes because they're starting, as you might be able to see from that one, the head of the brush came off, and as much as I tried to glue it back together, it didn't want to, so I used some masking tape. It's only until I decide whether I'll buy new brushes or not. And this is just the hash stripes, because this is a Iron Warrior tank, and their feature thing is they have hash stripes on their armour. This is I don't like using yellow very much. It's just, it always seems to be really watery. Maybe it's just my paints, I don't know. But it will definitely need a second coat because it's very, very thin. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually spending some time in Games Workshop with my nephew. I didn't think he'd be into it as much as he seems to be, but I'm really happy that he is. My other nephew thinks it's boring, which is fine. Like, with me and my brother, I love this stuff. This is what I've grown up doing, and he tolerated it. He tried to get involved in it from time to time, and always ended up giving me his stuff. So I stopped trying to push him into it. So yeah. Right, so that's his base, is getting there, and it's going to be a little while yet before I can work on them world eaters. I'd probably not on this video, I would think. It's just a shame. I wanted to get them done. But what I will do is there will be a few of these that I won't get started this week. Probably the 5 other Marines. And I will show you how I paint white armour next week. If I remember. Because my memory's a bit crap because of I'm feeling rough. So that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. So we're gonna do a little bit of White Scar. He's got like lightning bolt signal on his knee, and they're not proper lightning bolts. They're just like a little bit of decoration thing. So I'm just gonna highlight that with white. Now, if I could get this guy finished today, I'd be happy. I don't think I will, but you never know. So we want the really fine brush. Well, it's not the really fine brush. That's the artificer brush. But I find this one is Winsor Newton Zero. It's got as good a tip as the Games Workshop artificer brush. And it's a little bit bigger, so it holds paint a bit better. Just putting a small layer of white on the lighting. And again, that will probably need 2 coats as well, because you still see the grey through it. It's the thing, when you've got models that are this detailed, you always keep finding little bits that you've missed. And I'm even now I'm finding little bits that I've missed. But that's okay. I will go back and do that. But yeah, this guy should be finished over the weekend. I mean, I get Sunday, I get to paint all day. I don't think there may be football on. I don't think there's Grand Prix on. So yeah, it's going okay. Just paint a bit of gold on a bit that I've noticed I've missed on it, of gold of his. But this is the thing with commission painting. This is why it's not really my thing. Is with me, with my models, I can say like, okay, so I might have missed that tiny little bit of detail on it, and I'm like, it's okay. It's to a tabletop standard, it's fine. But with commission stuff, you have to be, everything has to be complete, and I'm like, okay. So like I said, I keep finding bits, and I'll probably keep finding bits even when I've sort of decided it's done. But hobby OCD, what can we do? So I've just painted his little, he's got like a little eagle emblem on his knee pad. So I've painted that. I'll leave that to dry for a few minutes, and then I'll paint a second layer. Right, so I've always talking about random stuff. I always try to have something to look forward to. I stopped doing that over the last couple of years. Always having the next event to look forward to and stuff like that. I've got my mate's daughter's christening in April, middle of April, 21st, I believe. So I'm going to start using things like this to have me something to look forward to again. Because I found I was just, like, weeks would go by and I'd never do anything otherwise. So, yeah, I'm going to start doing that kind of thing again. And I started doing that a few years ago, when, like, I had like a Bon Jovi concert to go to, or we were out organising a birthday party or a stag do or something like that. And where I lost touch with my friends, I know through my own fault, I stopped planning and having things to look forward to. But now I'm going to start trying to do that again. I'm just going to paint the second layer on his eagle, his knee pad thingy, and that's that goal done. I know it seems like such little paint for what I've got out onto the palette, but I've never been able to judge paint amounts, so if I waste paint, I waste paint. It's my problem. Right, so see, my Dark Oath War Queen, this lady here with her axe and shield, she's mostly finished. I've got to highlight the gold, which won't take much, just a dry brush. I've got to paint the back of her cloak and the fur, and then I've got to base her, and she's done. But I don't know how to base her. I was thinking of going with the same way as my bloodletters, which is going to be as if they go through a desert of the dead. Excuse me, I'm just taking some water. Because I actually remembered my water today, so yeah, I want to do it like that. She's walking through a desert of the dead, so it's going to be the odd skull here and there, and sand built up around the skull. And she's on a bit of a raised base anyway, which with like a big, I could make that sandstone. And there's some skulls on her base already, and there's a big centipede on her base, which I don't understand why that's there, but anyway. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. So the rampages are drying, but I still don't want to jump in and start sponging on them yet. I've actually got to tighten my chair up. All these random things I keep coming up with while I'm recording a video, but there you go. Yeah, so we are going to just do the edge highlights on the yellow. I actually need my iPad. Hold on. I'll be back. Well, when I say I'll be back, I won't stop recording. Yeah, I use okay. So I use painting guides a lot. Right, I hold my hands up, and I honestly do. I don't know why people wouldn't. And especially when I'm painting Imperial Fists, because I don't really paint them. can't actually remember. No, it's not that. Because I don't know if any of you use this Citadel painting app. It's really useful. And yes, it's cheating, but it's not cheating, not really. I actually need to tell my nephew about this. He might actually find it useful as well. So we actually do want Uriel yellow. I thought we did. And Screaming Skull. So basically the has stripe on the tank is going to be painted up more or less the same way as Sixman's armour is. Need to switch these over. I'm forever switching water pots, but yeah, with the has stripe, it's just so it's something that ties Sixman to the bigger base. So just a flash of yellow, and it's going to be heavily weathered yellow because it's destroyed tank. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about like this past week or so where I've had no motivation to paint, and getting out of that the funk that you get into the when you don't have motivation. Like a lot of my motivation comes from online, like the Facebook pages mostly. But there are other ways. I mean, having my nephew being like show interest in the hobby has really made me want to get on and paint, which is awesome. And the fact that my sister and my brother-in-law aren't dead against it as well, I was really surprised at. Because they've always seemed to have been against it in the past. Like, my nephew, he's a really smart kid. When I was... he was over the other week. He started building the models, and I was helping him with the first one or two. And then I got called away for something, and he just built all the rest himself. Like, he's 11 years old, so... yeah, really very, very smart kid. And of course he's smart because he thinks I'm cool. Whatever. I'm about as cool as a beach in the Bahamas. But there you go. So that's the yellow. It's the has stripe. Just got to do the edge highlighting and the weathering on it now. So I'll wait for the yellow to dry first. And then I can actually look at cutting Sixman off this stand that he's on, and gluing his sword on. If you just bear with me a minute, I need to tear that off. Yeah. So, for any of you that uses plastic pallets, I know a lot of people. Don't clean their palette and let paint spread all over it and then they peel it off later. I can't do that. I'd like a clean palette, and this is my rag. It's actually a kid's muslin, so safety blanket, whatever you want to call it. I bought a pack of them for like a couple of quid. There was like 10 in there, and they've served me really good. I've still got 2 or 3 left, I think. And I bought them years ago. So, yeah, really very useful. But like I said, with the whole... where is it gone? So, with the stuff like that, which is a pencil with blue tack shoulder pads on, or with my bases of cork, whatever helps you get the hobby done. I know some people will be like, oh, you can't do it like that, you can't do it like that. And it's like, why not? There's no reason not to. Whatever helps you get the hobby done. organising my paints a little bit. I'm a bit stuck as to where to go now. I really want to paint these guys, the World Eaters, but I don't want to jump into them too early because then I'll mess them up, and they're quite expensive models. And what I could do, so the champion of the squad is going to have a power fist and a plasma pistol, and then it's a case of trying to match up, because me stupidly I separated all of the bits, which I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. And my squad is going to have, so you've got basically the axes, and then you've got the big flails with the ball and chain on the end. Grab all of them bits. Oh, where are you? Note to self, kids, don't separate bits from spewers until you're ready to build them. And then you've got the twin blades, the phalanx blades I believe they're called. There's actually only 2 sets of them anyway. And then you got the meteor hammer, which is okay. I don't know what I've done at some point. I will figure this out, I hope. I'll get these bits out because they're the grenades. I'm not going to bother putting grenades on them. I don't put grenades on my Marines. The shoulder pads can come up there as well. And as you might not be able to see, they've got bare arms, not like normal Space Marines would. And they have got some bits on them, so they've got armour. So this is all the arm bits that I've got. And yeah, so at some point I have to work out what goes with what, but it shouldn't be too hard to do. And I'm going to have 2 of each weapon. So that makes 8 plus the Sergeant 9, and Con, that goes in the Land Raider 10. The Land Raider's full then. But what we are going to do is we're going to get another one of these. I'm actually running out of cork bases. I should make some more. I've got a bag of cork down there. And I did say cork, don't no one say otherwise. So basically I'm going to stick this arm on, try and make sure it's solidly on. And I'm going to shade these arms as well. I don't have to worry about the shoulder bits too much because the shoulders will actually have shoulder pads on. See, but this one, the actual champion, he has proper Space Marine arms. So yeah, he needs his arms need shading. And I'm not sure with the power fist what colour the power fist should be. But we're going to shade it anyway because it's not going to hurt. Let's go straight for the wash brush. And I started building models like this a little while ago, especially the World Eaters, because you can't, the way I paint them, you can't build them and paint them. It just doesn't work. And we're going to shut that in case I spill it again, because I did have a spillage in one of my wash pots the other week. Unlike other people on Facebook and whatever, I didn't feel the need to take a photo and post it everywhere. I'll just tell people about it in my video. Hey. But so yeah, it's things are going okay. I'm nervous about the interview. I will hold my hands up to that. I'm not a guy that changes a lot. I wouldn't change a lot. I don't react to change very well. Like with my job, for example, I've been doing the same job for 14 years or whatever, and I like things done my way when I'm doing my job. When other people come in and interfere, I don't like it. But it's what you got to put up with when you work with other people, I suppose. I actually think I'm going to call it there. With the little the intro bit I've done, and for once you may have seen my mug on YouTube. It's scary. This should take me up to about 45 minutes, I think, but we'll see. But again, thank you very much if you've sat and listened to my complete and absolute ramble that I do. I will be doing this again next Tuesday, back to normal hopefully, when I'm not feeling so rough, but we'll see. But again, thank you very much for listening. I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer, and I will see you again. Bye bye.